Hare Krishna, thank you for joining and happy Govardhan Puja. Let's continue with our Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Start with Radha Madhav. Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari, Jaya Gopi Janavallabha, Jayo Giravardhari, Jaya Gopi Janavallabha, Jayo Giravardhari, Shodanandana Vrajjana Ranjana, Shodanandana Vrajjana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthaptam Ena Bhutale Swam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavcha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathamritam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Krishna Setam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sutadevi Pranmami Hari Priye Panchakalpatu Brihascha Kripa Sindhube Vacha Paditana Pavnebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Nama Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Parsthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Parcharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatidishatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasdi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham Kroti Vachalam Pangam Nangitagrim Yat Kirpatamanda Shri Gurudin Dharam Paramandamadan Shri Shri Hari Om Tassat Narayan Namaskritya Naram Cheva Naruttamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamaduriyat Nasta Prashabduresh Nityam Bhavasya Bhagavati Uttam Shlake Bhakti Bhavati Neshtiki. So Hare Krishna everyone. So last time we discussed about the bloodline of Maharaj Parikshit, and so many great personalities were mentioned at that time, including Maharaj Yudhishthir, and even Lord Ram was mentioned as exemplary rulers, and Maharaj Parikshit was compared to have their qualities. So, he's an extraordinary king, or will be when he grows up. So the Brahmanas were explaining about the qualities of Maharaj Parikshit, that he's going to be a great ruler and he will do a lot for the citizens, and he comes from a great lineage of kings, and it's all Mangal, it's all auspicious. And we also, so it's important that the heir to the throne, is of good character, good personality, a strong personality at that. They don't necessarily have to have all the qualities that a person can have. It's like, for example, Maharaj Yudhishthira. He had all the, he's righteous and he was, protector of Dharma, but he wasn't necessarily a great fighter. But Bhim or Arjun, who was stronger and faster, in fighting, they had more Kshatriya spirit than Maharaj Yudhishthira. They never complained that why we are better than him, we are more powerful kings than him, then we should be kings. Now that they accepted Maharaj Yudhishthira as the king, and here Maharaj Yudhishthira's qualities have been described as well as exemplary. So not necessarily that you might be a very powerful king like say Duryodhan, but then you don't have any morals. So that is more important, because if you are ruling, if you're doing justice, if you're going to be Dharmaraj, then you must have those qualities. As far as fighting is concerned, is good if you can fight, but then you have so many soldiers and commanders on your side who will fight for you, who will lay their lives on the line for you. So don't necessarily have to be the best fighter. It's nice, it's good if you can fight so you can protect yourself, but don't have to be the best fighter in this instance. So let's start with verse 21. Okay. Tanvinam agranir esha tulyash cha arjunare davyoho hutash eva dudharsha samudra eva dustaraha. So Danvinam, of the great bowman, Agranehi, the foreman, Aisha, this child, Tulyaha, equally good, Cha, and Arjuna Yoho, of the Arjuns, Davyoho, of the two, Hutashaha, fire, Eva, like, Durdasha, irresistible, Samudra, ocean, Eva, like, and Dustaraha, unsurpassable. So amongst great bowmen, this child will be good as Arjun. So here, this Maharaj Parikshit is just amazing because he's good at everything. He will be as irresistible as fire and as unsurpassable as the ocean. In history, there are two Arjuns. One is Kartavya Arjun, the king of Heyaha, and the other is a grandfather of a child. Both the Arjuns are famous for their bowmanship. And the child Parikshit is foretold to be equal to both of them, particularly in fighting. A short description of the Pandav Arjun is given below. So now we go into the next personality, as in Arjun, the great hero of the Bhagavad-Gita. He is the Kshatriya son of Maharaj Pandu. Queen Kunti Devi could call for any one of the gods, and then she called Indra, and Arjun was born by him. Arjun is therefore a planetary part of the heavenly king Indra. He was born in the month of Phalgun, which is between February and March, and therefore he is called Phalguni. When he appeared as the son of Kunti, his future greatness was proclaimed by messages, and all the important personalities from different parts of the universe, such as the demigods, the Gandharvas, the Adityas, the Rudras, the Vasus, the Nags, the different rishis of importance, and the apsaras all attended the ceremony. The apsaras pleased everyone by their heavenly dances and songs. Vasudev, the father of Lord Krishna and the maternal uncle of Arjun, sent his priest representative Kashyap to purify Arjun by all the prescribed samskars or reformatory processes. His samskar of being given a name was performed in the presence of the rishis, residents of Shatshringa. He married 4 wives: Draupadi, Subhadra, Chitrangada, and Olupi, which we know about Draupadi and Subhadra, but we don't hear much about Chitrangada or Ulupi, from whom he got 4 sons of the name Shutkirti, Abhimanyu, and then Bhabru, Vahan, and Iravan, respectively. So Draupadi, Shrutakirti, and Subhadra, Abhimanyu, and Babru, Vahan, Chitragada, and Iravan was from Ulupi. That's the 4 sons. So during his student life, he was entrusted to study under the great professor Dronacharya, along with the other Pandavas and the Kurus. But he excelled everyone by studious intensity, and Dronacharya was especially attracted by his disciplinary affection. So Dronacharya accepted him as a first-grade scholar and loved heartily to bestow upon him all the blessings of military science. So, the teachers, they get inspired by a hard-working student and who is enthusiastic, who's devoted to learning. That they start having, they get emotional seeing the students like that. He was so ardent a student that he used to practice bowmanship even at night. And for all these reasons, Professor Dronacharya was determined to make him in the topmost bowman of the world. He passed very brilliantly the examination in piercing the target, and Dronacharya was very pleased. Royal families at Manipur and Tripur are descendants of Arjun's son, Babruvahan. Okay. And Arjun saved Dronacharya from the attack of a crocodile. And the Acharya, being pleased with him, he rewarded him with a weapon of the name Brahm Ashiras. So Maharaj Drupad was inimical toward Dronacharya, and thus when he attacked the Acharya, Arjun got him arrested and brought him before Dronacharya. He besieged a city of the name Ahitshatra, belonging to Maharaj Drupad, and after taking it over, he gave it to Dronacharya. The confidential treatment of the weapon Brahmas Ashiras was explained to Arjun. And Dronacharya was promised by Arjun that he would use the weapon if necessary when Dronacharya personally became an enemy of Arjun. So that's Dronacharya's magnanimity as well, that he taught him everything he knew and gave him divine weapons that could be actually used against him if ever needed. By this, the Acharya forecasted the future battle of Kurukshetra as well, so he knew that it was forthcoming, in which Dronacharya was on the opposite side. Maharaj Drupad, although defeated by Arjun, on behalf of his professor Dronacharya, decided to hand over so he was his future father-in-law, basically, over his daughter Draupadi to his young combatant. So even it's mentioned that the competition that was arranged, shooting the arrow into the eye of the fish by looking into the water pot, so that competition or that particular process was designed with the Arjun in mind. So even though Arjun defeated Maharaj Drupad, he still had, good intentions for Arjun, and he had a lot of respect for Arjun, and he would have preferred Draupadi to marry somebody like Arjun or Arjun himself in this case. So it was all designed because they knew that only Arjun could pass that test, nobody else could do it. But he was disappointed when he heard the false news of Arjun's death in the fire of Shalak house, intrigued by Duryodhan. He therefore arranged for Draupadi's personal selection of a groom who could pierce the eye of a fish hanging on the ceiling. So this trick was especially made because only Arjun could do it. And he was successful in his desire to hand over his equally worthy daughter to Arjun. So the Pandavas actually came in disguise. They were like supposed to be dead. They came in disguise to the competition. When he won that competition, it was understood that that was Arjun. Arjun's brothers were at the time living incognito under agreement with Duryodhan, and Arjun and his brothers attended the meeting of Draupadi's selection in the dress of Brahmanas. When all the Kshatriya kings assembled saw that a poor Brahman had been garlanded by Draupadi for her lord, Sri Krishna disclosed his identity to Balaram. So, I mean, the Lord Sri Krishna, he knows everything, and plus he has always been meeting them wherever they were, and so he knew everything. He met Ulupi at Haridwar, and he was attracted by that girl belonging to Nagalok. And thus, okay, so one of his wives, who Ulupi, was belonging to the Nagaloks, and thus Irvan was born. Similarly, he met Chitra Agada, a daughter of the king of Manipur, and thus Babruvahan was born. Lord Sri Krishna made a plan to help Arjun to kidnap Subhadra, sister of Sri Krishna, because Baladev was inclined to hand her over to Duryodhan. So this is interesting. So Balaram wanted her to marry Duryodhan. So Balaram, he had no concept of for good or bad or moral, immoral. He was very straightforward in that way. And plus Duryodhan was also a student as well. So he wanted Duryodhan to marry Subhadra or Subhadra to marry Duryodhan. But Lord Krishna knew that. So before that could happen, so he arranged with Arjun to kidnap Subhadra. And then obviously, as we see in Mahabharata, we say Balaram wasn't very happy about, but Krishna knows how to pacify him, and which was done. So Yudhishthira also agreed with Shri Krishna, and thus Subhadra was taken by force by Arjun and then married to him. Subhadra's son is Abhimanyu, the father of Parikshit Maharaj. The posthumous child, Arjun satisfied the fire god by setting fire to the Khanda forest, and thus the fire god gave him one weapon. Indra was angry when the fire was set in Khanda forest, and thus Indra, assisted by all other demigods, began fighting with Arjun for his great challenge. They were defeated by Arjun, and Indradev returned to his heavenly kingdom. Arjun also promised all protection to one Mayasur, and the latter presented him one valuable conch shell celebrated as the Devdal. So that was the conch shell that we know Arjun to possess, which he uses in the Kurukshetra war. Similarly, he received many of the valuable weapons from Indradev when he satisfied to his chivalry. So Arjun, he had a great reputation, and he was always victorious. He was always victorious because he had Lord Krishna on his side, as he says right at the end by Sanjay, that where it is Krishna, where it is Arjun, there's always victory. So when Maharaj Yudhishthir was disappointed in defeating the king of Magad, Jarasandh, it was Arjun only who gave King Yudhishthir all kinds of assurances, and thus Arjun, Bhim, and Lord Krishna started for Magad to kill Jarasandh. When he went up to bring all of the kings of the world under subjection of the Pandavas, as was usual after the coronation of every emperor, he conquered the country named Kalinda or Kalind and brought in subjugation king Bhagadat. Then he traveled through countries like Antagiri, Ulukapur, and Mudapur and brought under subjugation all the rulers. So these tasks were given to Arjun to do, and he collected a lot of wealth. Arjun collected a lot of wealth, which obviously came useful in the fight in the Kurukshetra war, because if you're going to have massive armies, like this, like 750 million people altogether there, and so whatever amount was on the Pandav side, the army has to be fed as well. So you got to make sure that you have plenty of resources to keep the army and keep feeding the army, keep them strong. So sometimes he underwent several severe types of penances, and later on he was rewarded by Indradev. Lord Shiva also wanted to try the strength of Arjun. There you are. So even Lord Shiva wanted to test him. The Kshatriyas, they're always tested. Fighters are always tested. There's always somebody who would like to challenge them. Even nowadays, you see, any great boxer, any great fighter, there's always somebody, who says, "Oh, they are nothing. I can do better. I can destroy them. This and that." And then these big fights going on, and people making a lot of money out of them. In the fights nowadays, competitions, so like that. So in the form of an Aborigine, Lord Shiva met him. There was a great fight between the two, and at last Lord Shiva was satisfied with him and disclosed his identity. Arjun prayed to the Lord in all humbleness, and the Lord, being pleased with him, presented him with the Pashupat weapon. So, Arjun, as we revealed later on, that Arjun was able to do all these to defeat even Lord Shiva because of the protection of Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is the protector. He's the guardian of everyone, as he demonstrates by lifting the Govardhan hill. He shows that he is a protector of Brajvasis. He's a protector of the cows, of the Brahmins. When he lifts the Govardhan hill, everybody is protected. And there's millions of cows, and everyone is protected. So the Govardhan hill actually expanded even bigger than it is to shelter everyone. That day, there was torrential rains and ice was falling from the skies, and it could have just destroyed the whole town or village. But Lord Krishna used the biggest umbrella known to mankind and saved everyone. He acquired many of the important weapons from different demigods. He received Dand Astra from Yamraj, Pashastra from Varun, and Antardhanastra from Kuber, the treasure of the heavenly kingdom. Indra wanted him to come to the heavenly kingdom, the Indralok planet beyond the moon planet. In that planet, he was cordially received by the local residents, and he was awarded reception in the heavenly parliament of Indradev. Then he met Indradev, who not only presented him with his Vajra weapon, but also taught him the military and musical science as used in the heavenly planet. So in one sense, Indra is the real father of Arjuna. So he's teaching his son, and therefore indirectly he wanted to entertain Arjuna with the famous society girl of heaven, Urvashi, the celebrated beauty. The society girls of heaven are lusty, and Urvashi was very eager to contact Arjuna, the strongest human being. She met him in his room and expressed her desires, but Arjuna sustained his unimpeachable character by closing his eyes before Urvashi, addressing her as mother of the Kuru dynasty and placing her in the category of his mothers Kunti, Madhuri, and Shachidevi, wife of Indradev. Disappointed, Urvashi cursed Arjuna and left. In the heavenly planet, he also met the great celebrated ascetic Lomash and prayed to him for the protection of Maharaj Yudhishthir. So this is how great brother he was. He still thinking of Yudhishthir. And when his inimical cousin Duryodhana was under the clutches of the Gandharvas, he wanted to save him and requested the Gandharvas to release Duryodhana, but the Gandharvas refused, and thus he fought with them and got Duryodhana released. When all the Pandavas lived incognito, he presented himself in the court of King Virat as a eunuch. So this curse from Urvashi was to be a boon later on when they were incognito. As a eunuch or as an eunuch, and was employed as the musical teacher of Uttara, his future daughter-in-law, and was known in the Virat court as Brannala. As Brannala, he fought on behalf of Uttara, the son of King Virat. Uttar. Yeah, it's Uttar. So the daughters Uttara and the son is Uttar, the son of King Virat, and thus defeated the Kurus in the fight incognito. His secret weapons were safely kept in the custody of a Swami tree, and he ordered Uttar to get them back. His identity and his brothers' identity were later on disclosed to Uttar. Dronacharya was informed of Arjuna's presence in the fight of the Kurus and Virats. Later on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna killed many great generals like Karan and others. After the battle of Kurukshetra, he punished Ashwathama, who had killed all the 5 sons of Draupadi. Then all the brothers went to Bhishmadev. So this whole verse is dedicated to Arjuna here. It is due to Arjuna only that the great philosophical discourses of the Bhagavad-Gita were again spoken by the Lord on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. This is a great dynasty. Because of Arjuna, Bhagavad-Gita was spoken, and because of his grandson, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam was spoken. So 2 great literatures, scriptures in our lineage, as Srila Prabhupada recommends to us, and the Lord Chaitanya recommends to us, Bhagavad-Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and they both were spoken because of the Pandavas and the grandchildren. His wonderful acts on the battlefield of Kurukshetra are vividly described in the Mahabharata. Arjuna was defeated, however, by his son Babruvahan at Manipur and fell unconscious when Ulupi saved him. After the disappearance of Lord Krishna, the message was brought by Arjuna to Maharaj Yudhishthir. Again, Arjuna visited Dwarka, and all the widow wives of Lord Krishna lamented before him. He took them all in the presence of Vasudeva and pacified all of them. Later on, when Vasudeva passed away, he performed his funeral ceremony in the absence of Krishna. So he acted as a son. While Arjuna was taking all the wives of Krishna to Indraprasth, he was attacked on the way, and he could not protect the ladies in his custody. At last, advised by Vyasadeva, all the brothers headed by Mahaprasthan. On the way, at the request of his brother, He gave up all important weapons as useless, and he dropped them all in the water. So he still had all the skills, he had all the weapons, and he was defeated by ordinary men. He realized that whatever opulences you have, you can have all the money in the world, all the intelligence in the world, you can have everything, all the power, strength, bodily strength in the world. But if Krishna doesn't want to save you, you will not get saved. And this is a lesson for Arjun as well. So he doesn't think that he was doing everything. While Krishna was there, Krishna was doing everything on Arjun's behalf. But Arjun was only an instrument, and that's how we should always think, that we are just an instrument. Never get arrogant, puffed up about our abilities. Just remember that this is Krishna's arrangement. Everything happening is Krishna's arrangement, and we are merely an instrument, like Arjun was an instrument when Krishna told him in the Kurukshetra war that, look, you don't have to make any extra effort here. I have already done everything. Everything's ready. You just go through the motions and everything will take care of itself. You do what is in your power, and then what is not in your power, I've already taken care of it anyway. And even shows him the Virat Roop, showing him, look, they're all already dead. It's just only time stands between them and their death. So you just carry on. So you losing the whole heart here does not make any difference, because the deed is already done. Their destiny has already been decided. So they will all die. A lot of people, only apart from the Pandavas, everyone will die. So you just become an instrument in this fight, and fight this holy war, fight for dharma, and then you will get benefit from that. You can come back to me, otherwise your name will be tarnished, and people will laugh at you. So fight and establish dharma and do your prescribed duty for me. Fight for me. And that's what Arjun does. He fights for Krishna, not for his own interests and whatever 5-6 things he challenged Krishna with, reasons why he couldn't fight. And Krishna destroys all his reasons, and he says, end of the day, you fight for me, not for your own gratification. So next one, so this one, so we're hearing about the qualities of Maharaj Parikshit, but also the anxieties of Maharaj Yudhishthira. Sorry, don't think that should be the conclusion to that. So it was mentioned by by the Brahmins that end of the day, this all goes back to Maharaj Parikshit by mentioning the heroism and the devotion of all these great personalities is all connected to Maharaj Parikshit, because they're saying that when you say this person is like this person, and when you hear the qualities of that person, then he's like being compared to their qualities. So he will be a great bowman. He'll have great bowmanship like his grandfather Arjun, because Arjun could shoot in the dark. Maharaj Parikshit could also shoot arrow, or will be able to shoot arrows in the dark as well. So we'll do one more. Mragendra iva vikranto nishevyo himavan iva tatikshu vasudevasau seshnu pitrav iva. So Mrig Indra, the lion, Eve like Vikrant, powerful, Nishevyaha, worthy of taking shelter, Himavan, the Himalaya mountain, Eve like Titikshu, forbearance or tolerance, Vasuda Eve, like the earth, Asau, the child, Saheshanu, tolerant, Pitru, parents, and Eve like. So this child will be strong as a lion and as worthy a shelter as the Himalaya mountains. He will be forbearing like the earth and as tolerant as his parents. So one is compared to the lion when one is very strong in chasing an enemy. One should be a lamb at home and a lion in the chase. The lion never fails in the chase of an animal. Similarly, the head of the state should never fail in chasing an enemy. The Himalaya mountains or Himalaya mountains are famous for all richness. There are innumerable caves to live in, numberless trees of good fruits to eat, good springs to drink water from, and the profuse drugs and minerals to cure diseases. Any man who is not materially prosperous can take shelter of these great mountains, and he will be provided with everything required. Both the materialists and spiritualists can take advantage of the great shelter of the Himalayas. On the surface of the earth, there are so many disturbances caused by the inhabitants. In the modern age, the people have begun to detonate atomic weapons on the surface of the earth, and still the earth is forbearing to the inhabitants like a mother who excuses a child. Parents are always tolerant to children for all sorts of mischief acts. An ideal king may be possessed with all these good qualities, and the child Parikshit is foretold to have all these qualities in perfection. So it'll be the best of the best. So this is an important quality of Maharaj Parikshit. He will chastise enemies. This is the other thing. If enemies are not chastised, they take advantage. So the king should chase them to the end of the earth. This is why in the Vedic system there is this system of capital punishment. The criminals must fear the consequences of their actions. So a prison sentence should not seem like a paid holiday. There should be some consequences, and they should feel that they are being punished, not just it's a bit time off. So Srila Prabhupada mentioned that in the jungle there are many animals bigger and stronger than the lion. For example, the elephant. Yet the lion is considered the king. So we always wonder that an elephant could just trample the lion to death. Why is still the lion the king? Even though the elephant also looks very majestic. Because Krishna gives it that potency which everyone fears. So all the vibhutis, the potencies come from Krishna, and Krishna says in chapter 10 Bhagavad-Gita that in the animals I am the lion, because lion has got that special fear factor. Vibhuti, that fearing potency. A ruler should be like that. Soon as the king comes in, people should fear. Therefore, the king has that power, that potency. So the king shouldn't have to threaten anyone or say anything. Just his presence, his eyes, people should fear him, not stand up to him or mock him. But at home, he should be like a lamb, compassionate and mild at home, not aggressive. This is the nature of a devotee of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada said that a devotee should be like that, fearless like lion outside, but at home, at the temple, they should be like a lamb. So humbleness and tolerance in the temple, outside, should be like a lion. Doesn't mean you go and attack everyone. It just means you should be powerful, should be active, and you should be able to defend the scriptures, defend the devotees. And if you go to preach to people, and you will get a lot of people, a lot of retaliation, but we should have courage. We should be strong to take out the message of the Lord. So Brahman, sometimes said that be a Brahman in the temple and be like a Kshatriya outside the temple. Be powerful outside the temple. The yogis used to be fearless. The animals could sense that these are not our enemies. They are not exploiting the resources. They did not attack the yogis. So yogis used to do the sadhana for so long, but the animals did not attack them. They could sense that they were not threatening to them. Children teach you a lot of patience and tolerance. Maharaj Parikshit, just like a parent, had a lot of these qualities. Wonderful. So we'll stop here. Stop sharing. Okay. So we start with Hina Mataji and then Kiran Prabhu. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Very nice Leelas coming up in these verses. So for me, no, there's only just very minimal, just one really minimal takeaway from these verses that we've covered, which was just about accepting that we are instruments of the Lord and that how all our power, our abilities, come from him. We oftentimes take it for granted that you wake up every day fit and healthy, able to get out of bed, able to move, etc. And that isn't just by chance. That comes from him. That's an empowerment that comes from him to allow us to carry out his to be of service to him. So it was, for me, it was more about just trying to not, from reading these verses, is not to accept or not take for granted everything that we've been given in this life. And that was it, really. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Lord is described as the maintainer in so many ways, but also he maintains us. We are breathing. I'm talking, breathing same time, sleeping, breathing. Digestion is going on inside. So many processes are happening without our knowledge. So who's maintaining all that? Lord himself maintaining everything. Thank you, Mataji. Kiran Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Again, we are talking about Parikshit, who is the natural heir to the throne. We hear of natural heirs to the throne who are very misguided in contemporary society. However, these are very extolled characters who have impeccable personalities and values which are untarnished. And so that is why we have these Vedas which give us those highest values of human behavior, so that we do not become animalistic and we strive towards achieving those great heights of excellence that Arjun had, as well as Parikshit, as well as Yudhishthira, etc. This is the beauty of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It illustrates some very key characters which are positive and others who are demonic. So we can make the distinction between positive values and negative values. And even within one family, you have Prahlad and you have Hiranyakashipu, two diametrically opposed value systems, and hence there's a lot to learn from our literature. We get Arjuna, who we know the story of Arjuna. I didn't know he had 4 wives. I learned something new today as well. He was the son of Kunti. He married Draupadi. He had 4 wives. He had 4 sons. And he was a great warrior whose guru was Dronacharya. And he was such an impeccable warrior that he used to train at night. Nothing is achieved without effort. You can't become Sachin Tendulkar overnight. You can't become Suryavanshi, a 14-year-old cricketer, overnight. You have to make effort day and night, and even in your sleep drives, your hook shots and your reverse sweeps. And so this shows how Arjun became the warrior king that he did become, the warrior that he became. He was such an elevated character that he was able to pierce the eye of a fish. And so we hear of tales of William Tell. I think these were stories taken and stolen from our Shastras. And we get Arjun, who was such an impeccable character, who had an army. And an army requires wealth. Because we're not talking about 100 people, 1,000 people. We're talking about millions of people. And I was mindful of a story that I'd heard where a king wanted to join Arjun's army or Krishna's army. And Arjun said, and Krishna said, we've already settled up who's going to be in the army. And so Krishna says to this king, well, why don't you guys do the cooking? And so modern day Iran, as we know it, or Persia, was the place where they did all the cooking for the millions and millions and millions and millions of soldiers, of which 64 million who died. So you can see the amount of wealth that was required in those days, right? The wealth that is in the Tower of London wouldn't even feed the army for one day. The wealth that was required in those days was of beyond our imagination. These people had impeccable virtues and values. We know the story of Ashwatthama, Arjun's son. We also know how the story goes that Krishna tells us that, you know, I've been with you since the beginning of time, and I'll be with you till the end of time. You're just my instruments. Just continue doing as you do. Perform your prescribed duties. That's all that's required. Perform your prescribed duties in essence with time, circumstances, and so forth, and place. And that's all that's required. But perform your duty with integrity and honesty, and all will become apparent to you. It is true that miscreants have to be dealt with. Nowadays, miscreants go to prison and come out with a PhD. No, that's not good enough. You have to if you committed a crime, the punishment should fit the crime. It is such an easy world that these people people are actually engaging in crime so they can go back in prison because it's such a cushy number for some. In those days, the punishment fitted the crime, and hence any miscreants were chased to the ends of the earth. And so the death penalty that people have in different countries should be relevant. If somebody commits the most heinous crimes, such as blowing up an arena where there's children enjoying their freedom, then they should have the rights for that person's life to be terminated. Instead, this person has the opportunity to kill more people whilst in prison. That is my personal view. But then, we live in a world of too many freedoms. Freedom has a value and a price. And our scriptures tell us what is absolutely right and correct. And those rights and corrects will be righted when the time comes, when Kali comes to take over the continued devastation that we are experiencing in the Kali Yuga. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for so many points, Prabhu. Wonderful. Yeah, and totally become an instrument. So that was like Krishna's bhakti to fight and follow the instructions of the Lord, to fight in that holy war. There was like his bhakti. We also have our bhakti. We follow the instructions, balance our family life along with our spiritual life, do the two responsibly, and use our skills for what we do, and also use our skills for Krishna service as well. Whatever we are good at, we can apply that in Krishna service. That what pleases Krishna. That He's given you these skills, given these Birapotan say, use the Krishna's service. That is bhakti. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Ajay?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
These verses we learn of the glories of Krishna Maharaj and the glories of Arjun. Arjun, we know, is a great warrior, greatest of his generation, great era. But we also see, also noted how important he was for people of Kali Yuga, thanks to him asking the right questions, that we have Bhagavad-Gita. We have the knowledge there that is necessary for us to progress in our spiritual life. We also see in Arjun's example how important it is to take shelter of the Lord. You see, for example, where he came into contact with Urvashi, and him turning her down was completely correct because she was previously married to one of his ancestors. Yet she didn't take too kindly to it, and she ends up cursing him to be a eunuch. Now, normally, being cursed is going to be a complete disaster. Yet this would prove very useful later on when they were sent into exile, the Pandavas. And he'd spend a year in just a very good disguise. Nobody would know it was Arjun. And he even got to teach his future daughter-in-law about musical sciences or arts, whatever they learned from Indra. So yes, it's when you do everything as Krishna desires, then everything falls into place, even in seemingly in perilous conditions. Everything seems to be going against you. Krishna will rearrange things that you'll see that actually this is the correct path. It's not, don't be worried, just have faith in Krishna, and then you'll be guided into what you need to do, what's right for you, as opposed to what others might think is right for you, what you might have thought was right for you. Krishna will then reveal to you what is actually the correct path, and once you're on the correct path, then just do what you do, like be like Arjun, do your duty, and then you can't go wrong. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Yeah, just take shelter of the Lord, and this is one of the limbs of surrender, taking shelter of the Lord, thinking Him as your protector and guardian. So we think of Him as a protector and guardian, then He will definitely protect and guard us. Thank you so much. Radharani?
Hare Krishna, everyone. My pranams to all of you. Very happy Govardhan Puja to all of you. Yes, we have heard how Parikshit Maharaj, he had the qualities of not just Arjun, his grandfather, but also the other Arjun, Kartavirya Arjun, the thousand-armed Arjun. And he was not only great warrior like both of them, he was fearless, he was unconquerable in nature, Parikshit. And also how we heard about Arjun, like Ajay was just telling, that Arjun was fearless, was not just a great warrior with all the great qualities, he even turned down the attempts of Maya so easily. It's not easy because for Jivas, this is the biggest test, whether you are from the Satyug or whether you're from the Kali Yuga. And so Parikshit Maharaj, it's been told that he had ocean deep, his character was ocean deep. The depth of his character is been described so high. And we can just imagine how was the characters of both Arjuns, that Parikshit had not just one times, but he had we can say hundreds more times qualities more than his these two Arjuns. So we can just imagine what was the the magnanimity of the character and the life of Parikshit Maharaj. No wonder he was the right candidate chosen to be told Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It's been told also that he had courage as a lion and he was worthy of shelter, as just like Himalayas are known to be worthy of shelter. He was self-controlled, he had restraint in his character, that is the forbearance, as they say, just like the earth, tolerant like his parents. And the symbolic meaning of Parikshit's strength is described in all these superlatives which have been described in these verses. And I think it's right for us to hear these verses today on Govardhan Puja Day. Govardhan, because all these qualities are indifferent from Giriraj Govardhan himself. Because of a story in the past, which we don't have to go through now, you all must have heard that how Govardhan was told that he will, if this person who was carrying him, this rishi, if he puts it down, he will decrease in size day by day. So if anyone goes to Giriraj Govardhan, they think, where is Govardhan? Because that's why Giriraj Govardhan is decreasing his size every day. So at the moment, we have to just visualize through these kathas and do the parikramas of Govardhan. Wherever we are, we can do it 4 times around, make some offerings in your home, put them in front of your altar. It can be as simple as you want. It doesn't have to be elaborate or anything. Giriraj is only looking for our bhav, end of the day. Because at the moment we started from Shraddha. Slowly we're, traveling towards the bhav. And the bhav, you can have as opulent in your head, the offerings. If there's no time to prepare or anything, you can just imagine, just do everything in front of Lord and just do some parikramas, at least 4, which have been recommended, and thus Giriraj will be happy. And I pray to Giriraj Govardhan that he gives us all the steadfastness in our bhakti and give us at least a little bit of the qualities of these great personalities we have read today, so that our life will be successful in the bhakti. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. And we'll finish here. Have a wonderful day. And we'll meet again on Friday. Granthra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Premanande Hari Hari. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.